I, like the chairman, want to fix this once in my lifetime. It is a huge priority. It is a personal priority of mine, but it's also something that I believe will grow the economy of California and contribute to the greatness of America. But on a personal note, I've witnessed the trials and the joys of immigration through my own family. My father-in-law is a naturalized citizen from Mexico. My wife and her siblings, first-generation Americans. I was very proud when my father-in-law, a very proud man, asked me to help him study for his citizenship test. It is a big deal. Not everybody wants to become a citizen, but those that do are willing to work hard to make this country great. Now, I know that we're here today to talk about kids that have been brought here to no fault of their own, a very important topic, and I look forward to continuing to engage on a variety of other issues, but specifically on this topic, one of the bills that's already in print that a number of you have already co-sponsored will be part of the KIDS Act, would be the ENLIST Act. And during my 16 years of serving in the United States Air Force, I served along many foreign nationals who were able to earn citizenship through putting their lives on the line for Americans in the armed services. Our nation has never made citizenship a requirement for service in our armed forces. 50% of enlistees in the 1840s were immigrants. 660,000 military veterans became citizens through naturalization between 1862 and the most recent numbers of 2000. Individuals from Marshall Islands, Micronesia, and Palau, and American Samoa can gain citizenship today through military service. The Lodge Act was passed by Congress in the 1950s to allow the military to recruit from Europe and other nations overseas to fill critical roles. Between 1952 and 1990, 34,620 Filipinos, many of which I served with, enlisted in the Navy and were granted U.S. citizenship. I introduced the ENLIST Act, H.R. 2377, which authorizes the enlistment in the armed forces of undocumented immigrants who were brought into the United States as children and who are otherwise qualified for enlistment. This bill will provide a way for the undocumented immigrants to be lawfully admitted to the U.S. for permanent residence by reason of their honorable service and sacrifice in the U.S. military. Not the only way, but certainly a way to show their dedication to this great country that we have. The ENLIST Act will only affect a certain population of kids who have been in the United States since the age of 15 and are prohibited from experiencing their patriotism and allegiance to the United States under current military code. These recruits would provide the military departments with a talent pool of young men and women, many of whom would have strategically valuable language and cultural competencies. I recently met with a constituent, Gloria Sanchez, Mr. Chairman, I think you met her as well, who was recruited by the Marines from Modesto High School. A day after completing her paperwork and forms, Gloria was contacted by the recruiter and asked for her Social Security number, which she obviously did not have because she was brought here unlawfully into the United States. Gloria would have been able to serve her country had my ENLIST Act already been law. In the midst of our immigration reform debate, one thing we should all agree on is that we must require those who came here illegally to give back before they can receive any additional benefit. As someone who served, I remember the pride I felt wearing the uniform and cannot think of any better way for these young people to earn the right to fully share in the rights and freedoms of America. I would just like to point out one other thing. As we've traveled around this district, we've traveled around the state, and I've even spent some time in other districts around the nation. I've talked to not only a large number of immigrants, but I've talked to a lot of kids. Algunas veces yo hablo con ellos en español, and I get a very interesting look. We don't speak English. We don't speak Spanish. We only speak English. Their entire life, they've gone to our schools with our kids. It is an issue we have to address. This is a big challenge addressing the entire immigration system. But I think specifically on this issue, we have to address this issue, and we need to address it now. Let me just finish by saying last month I appreciated Chairman Goodlatte and House Democratic Caucus Chairman Becerra. When we had a colloquy on the floor dealing with the ENLIST Act, both had said that they were willing to work together in making sure that this issue becomes a reality. I appreciate your willingness to do that. This is an important part of this package, and I hope this entire committee and the entire House will consider the ENLIST Act as one of the ways for undocumented individuals to legalize without providing opportunities to earn a legal status, or body will not resolve our immigration status. There is no better way than putting your life on the line for this country to become an American citizen.